Send me your location, let's focus on communicating, cause I just need the time and place to come through.
What's up, everyone? So I usually like focus my channel on like wig stuff and like hair stuff and like curl kit, and I try to do my makeup and stuff, and I kind of forgot that like a big part of me is my field of work and my field of study. So on my intro video, Beauty with Jeunie B, she reached out to me and she told me that she's a social worker too. She asked to do a collab with me, and so here I am. So yeah, so me and Jeunie are here to talk about how to be a social worker and how our time has been as a social worker. I'm gonna leave a link to her part of the collab down in my description box below, so make sure you do go check her page out. Make sure you do go subscribe and watch her videos. She's like super beauty guru, like makeup on fleek, and I'm just here like a little peasant. But yeah, she does a ton of wig reviews, and I've seen her do a couple wig giveaways. She does a lot of makeup tutorials and does a lot of hauls and talks about makeup. So yeah, if you're interested in that kind of stuff and you want to see someone who's a little more talented in that field than I am, I would definitely recommend going and checking out her channel. Graduated high school, I went to a community college. I went to Coffeyville Community College in Coffeyville, Kansas, and I got my associates in science. And so I like absolutely did not want to go to college, to be completely honest with you guys. I was like so over school, and I was like helping my best friend pack for college, and she was like, if you're gonna sit here, you're gonna apply for school too. So I applied to the community college that she was going to, and I got accepted, and she was a cheerleader, and so I ended up getting a cheer scholarship for being a cheer manager, and I got to go to my first 2 years of college for the free. So that was a very lit. So yeah, so I got my associates in science, and then I transferred from Kansas to the University of Alabama, and that is where I am right now. I'm a senior. I'm in my last semester at the University of Alabama. So roll tide, I'm almost done. The first question is, how did you get interested in social work? Honestly, like my upbringing is what really sparked that interest. I grew up with a single mom, and we definitely were not the most wealthy. Without my grandma, my grandpa, like I don't know, who knows where we would have been, honestly. But yeah, I grew up with a single mom. My mom suffers from depression and anxiety. So firsthand, I've been able to see like how mental disorders affect how people operate. My younger brother, he has ADD or ADHD. And then my younger sister has been diagnosed with ODD, which is oppositional defiance disorder. Both of my siblings, like they're totally fine. They're in a good environment now to where they're able to flourish and make friends and be successful. And so they're both doing like absolutely so much better than they were in the past. So I'm really happy about that. But like, just like basically being like a second mom to my younger siblings and seeing, witnessing like relationships that my mother was in, and how the system affected how successful we were and what sort of resources that we could get, really what made me like want to like fix it. So I was like, wow, our caseworker isn't doing shit, like let me be one of those too. So I initially wanted to go into counseling. My mom really inspired my career moves, so I wanted to go into counseling, and then I got to Alabama. And during my orientation, I met like a social work student who was an orientation leader, and I got to like talk to her a little bit, and I was like, this sounds more like what I want to do. So switched into social work. So the next question is, what type of populations can social workers work with? So you can literally do whatever you want as a social worker. Like you can work with any population that you can pull out of your ear. Like you can do anything. So like some examples, you can work with kids, you can work with families, you can work with felons, you can work with the elderly, you can do grief counseling, you can do help with addiction, you can work in the school system with students and families, you can work with disabled populations, like you can do anything. The population that I want to work with, I'm kind of like wishy-washy, I'm not 100% sure. I think that I probably want to work with minority kids and their families, as well as domestic violence. Those are the two populations and two fields that I'm most interested in. Initially, I only wanted to do domestic violence. I didn't want to do anything else. And I didn't want to work with the schools. I didn't want to work with kids. And so now I've been in a school system for a semester, and so I'm like really interested in that now, which will lead me to UA's programs. So as far as like classes go, the next question is your school. Like, how does my school operate? I guess, like, what's my curriculum and what classes have I taken? So how it starts, you start out taking like the basic like general education classes, and I didn't do that at my school because I spent my first 2 years at a different school. So when I joined UA's social work program, I was already in the professional program, which is the 400 level courses, but I did have to take those lower level classes as well. So you're gonna take social work 100, social work 200. Those are the two like base courses. Social work 100 is just like intro to social work, and 200 is the history of social work. 100 was probably the easiest class that I've ever taken in my life. It does require like at my school, it requires like 15 hours of community service, and I fulfilled that at Arts and Autism. It's like an after-school program for children who have autism. Let's see, a hard class that I took was probably gonna be the policy class that we had to take. Fun class is gonna have to be 351, social work 351, which is oppression and social injustice, and that was my favorite class ever. We had Jennifer Kinney. She was a teacher, and she is a lesbian woman, and it was just so awesome to have a lesbian woman teaching a class about minorities in Alabama. Like, it was like the best experience I've ever had in my life. Like 351 is like one of the last classes that you'll take before you get into your 400 level courses, and the 400 level courses at UA are just the professional program. You have to apply for that. You more than likely you'll get in if you've been doing well the first 2 years, and that's when you start getting into your like communities and working with groups, and your interviewing classes and group work and all that stuff. And once you get to the very, very end is when you have your internship. They call it field placement at UA. And so what that is all semester of your senior year, which is right now for me, it just ended, you have a required field placement, which is basically a co-op. So all you do all semester is you do this internship. It's 450 required hours by the end of the semester, and you fill out this application, you talk about what you're interested in, and they just place you somewhere, and you work there for free, of course, for an entire semester. And then you take a seminar class, which meets once weekly, and you just are learning different skills and how to cope with what you're working with, and you just get to talk with your classmates who are in similar sort of placements about your week and like what you've been doing. And it's like a safe place to talk about your stuff, and it's also confidential, of course, because everything we do is confidential. So for my placement, I was placed with Tuscaloosa City Schools, and I was at Central High School. We all know how city zoning works. They zone our high schools according to class for the most part. So I was working in a school that was more poverty stricken. It was also more minority. I think like 96 or 98% of the student body was black. So I worked with pretty much any freaking student that stepped into that door in the office is someone that I was able to work with. I worked with like student parents. We have this thing called the McKinney-Vento program in some schools. It's just for like students with displaced housing. It'll pay for like student fees, it'll pay for like sport fees, it'll pay for field trips, and for the seniors it also pays for their like cap and gown and their graduation fees. It's a really, really, really amazing program. Next thing that I wanted to talk about is like volunteer work. You're gonna be doing if you are wanting to be a social worker, you're going to be required to do a ton, not even required, but it's like expected that you're doing volunteer work. So I started out, I didn't do a whole lot of volunteer work up until I got to Alabama. I have a lot of work history with like social work. In high school, I worked at a retirement home. When I was going to my community college, I worked at a company for county through Quest Foundations, which was an after-school program. It was an AC, which is an attendant care, and I worked one-on-one with one student within a group of about maybe 10, like 9 to 13-year-olds. But when I got here is when I started social work, and I immediately started volunteering with Turning Point Tuscaloosa, which is a domestic violence shelter. Next and the last thing is, what are my plans after graduation? I don't want to talk about it yet because it's not set in stone, and I don't want to I don't want to like jinx it. I'm hopefully going to be moving out of Alabama for grad school. I do want to go to grad school, but I know for a fact that no matter what I do decide, I really want to stick with domestic violence because it is something that hits very close to home, and it's something that I am very passionate about. Yeah, whenever I get accepted or denied, I won't tell anyone if I get denied. If I get accepted, I will make a video about it and I'll let you guys know what my plans are. I really like encourage everyone to be a social worker. It's just very, I don't know, it's just very educational. I feel like everyone should take like one social work class in their life. Just one. Just one. Or like if you don't have a minor, like just go get a social welfare minor or get a social work minor if your school provides that. That's it. I say this every day. I'm like, but yeah, that's really all I have, guys. But it is really all I have, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are here from Beauty with Jeunie B's page, thank you so much for clicking that and checking me out. I hope you subscribe. So if you did, if you're just from her page and you're just checking me out, thank you still. If you do subscribe, wow, thank you so much. And if you are originally one of my subscribers, don't forget to check out her video. Don't just watch my stuff, go check hers out too. She's a little more advanced than me, so she's gonna probably have the next step and the next level of information for you to need to know if you want to be a social worker. I really hope this video does so well because there are not a whole lot of social work videos. I just see teacher stuff and nurse stuff all the time, and we are important too. We work like literally hand in hand with teachers and students and nurses, so like I would love to like help y'all learn. If you're a high schooler and you're thinking you want to go into social work, hit me up. I'm not gonna say anything else. Just don't forget to click that link down there and check out Beauty by Jeunie B's part of this collab. Subscribe to her. This is gonna be something new for the both of us, so I'm really excited about this video. And then also, if you are from her page, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That way you can get notified when I do new things. And if you are not from her page and you're just new to this channel here, subscribe. Let me know what's up. And like always, if you guys are interested in anything, leave it in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in my next video.